So you hate setting goals. I feel you. I used to be the same way. I used to set goals all the time, and somewhere down the line in that year, I would give up on those goals. Then at the end of the year, I review and look back and see I didn't accomplish goals and would feel bad about myself. Especially when you listen to a lot of motivational speakers or preachers that would tell you you want to have a strong finish. And here you are, another goal unaccomplished. But that used to be me until I began to understand what goals really were and how they impact your life. And so I became more effective in accomplishing goals. So if you want to become more effective in pursuing your goals, you come to the right video. Well, hello, Overcomer. I'm so glad you made your way to this video today. I'm Andrew Free, and I want to be a source of encouragement and enlightenment and empowerment for you to live a happier and more successful life while drawing closer to God. So in this video, I'm talking about setting goals, and more particularly how to be more effective in setting and pursuing your goals. Now, like I said earlier, I would set goals at the beginning of the year. Now, that's one thing I do. I like to review my year and charter a course for the next year. I've always liked to do that. But I never like leaving my goals unaccomplished. And I would feel bad and I would be thinking, oh, I'm not a finisher, and enough with all of that. There are certain things you need to know about your goals and yourself in order for you to be more effective in not only pursuing them, but at accomplishing them as well. When it comes down to setting goals, the impact that the goals have on your life is just as much about you changing as it is about you succeeding. Jim Rohn said it like this: you ought to set a goal to be a millionaire, if nothing else, to see what you become in the process of obtaining them. I used to set goals all the time, not really realizing that I was changing as long as I continued to pursue them. I remember I set goals to have a better marriage, and in the process, I became a better husband. I set goals to get out of debt, and in the process, I became a better money manager. So the journey is just as important as arriving in the promised land when it comes down to setting goals. So you want to keep that in mind. Yes, you want to have the end result, the end game, and I'm going to give you a few tips about that as well. But what holds you to that is understanding that as I get closer to that, the Andrew that I am now is going to be different and is changing to the Andrew I want to be. So it doesn't matter if it's character forming goals, personal development, or obtaining success. Pursuing those goals is going to change you. That's why it's important for you to know who you are before you even set goals, because understanding and identify the behaviors and values that need to change is half the battle. If you set goals without first identifying the behaviors and the values that needs to change and why, then you'll be like most people, and like I was, who would abandon the pursuit of the goal when the times get tough. You know, a lot of people think obtaining goals is just a matter of discipline and willpower. And yes, discipline has a place in it. But if you're relying on your willpower to take you through the tough times instead of relying on the why power, then what's going to happen is you will eventually revert back to your old way of doing things. Your willpower gets you to continue to do something in efforts for you to change. And that's backwards. I always say, don't do something in order to change. Change to become the thing that you desire. And then when you become that, you just do you. Besides, we're human beings, not human doings. So what I want to do now is give you a few tips to help you along the process of becoming so that you can be more apt to attain your goals. First thing first, analyze who you are. If nothing else, you want to identify your core values as it relates to the goal that you are desiring to obtain. Your core values are your fundamental beliefs. They are the guiding principles for your subconscious behavior. Core values have probably the biggest impact on your subconscious behavior other than your habits or some other traumatic event that happened in your life. If you set goals that directly oppose your core values, again, cognitive dissonance will set in, and you'll be most likely give up on that goal without obtaining it. For example, if you have a goal of losing 25 pounds, but your value about food is you eat to enjoy it, more than likely you're going to give up on that goal somewhere along the year because you look for food for enjoyment. Some people eat to live, other people live to eat. You want to identify what is your core value when it comes down to food. And if it's different, then yes, you can change your core values. Core values can change. So, as a minimum, when it comes down to your goals and setting your goals, you want to know what are your values in relationship to that goal. Because if you know it's different, then part of the pursuit of that goal is changing your values as it relates to it. So yeah, back to the food. If you live to eat and food is for your enjoyment and you want to lose 25 pounds, you might want to begin to think and accept food as being a way of having a healthier life as opposed to just enjoying life. Number two, the second tip I want to give you to setting goals is identify the destructive or any behaviors or habits that will hinder you from obtaining a goal. For example, I like watching TV. Ain't no sense in me lying about it. I like watching television. And that alone can be the biggest hindrance for me doing things like reading. I love to read. I love to get more information. I love to make videos and try to impart to others. But that television on, I'm usually drawn away from it. So me understanding that, I have to set parameters around the television. I don't watch more than 3 hours a night. That's just the way it is. And I know that's a lot for some of y'all, but for some of y'all, that's nothing. At least mindless TV. Also, I don't watch television before I take care of my personal development programs that I'm working on. So things like that. When I'm done, I can watch as much TV as I want. On the weekends, or I like to binge watch certain TV shows. And I know it's boob tube, and I know the E to E ratio, education and entertainment ratio, is kind of out of whack. But I understand that about myself, so I keep it under control so that I can accomplish my goals. Tip number three. Now, this is after you identify the goal that you want to obtain. The first thing you have to do, you absolutely must write it down. A goal not written down really is just a dream. Habakkuk 2:2 said, write the vision and make it plain so that they will run who reads it. When you write your goal down, something supernatural happens to you on the inside when you're able to read it. I'm told when you make a New Year's resolution and you don't write it down, you have less than 10% chance of obtaining that resolution. But if you do write it down, your chances go from less than 10 to over 40%. And if you write it down and you tell someone else to hold you accountable, it goes from 40 all the way up to 90%. So writing it down is important because it impacts your psyche. Now when you write it down, like the scripture says, you want to make it as clear as possible. You want to describe in detail what it looks like if I obtain this goal. You want to give the time frame. You want the goal to be smarter first, specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and has a time frame on it. You want to have that goal so crystal clear that it impacts and motivates you every time you read it. This is one thing that I've learned from Les Brown and other people. When you write a goal, part of writing that goal is why you want to accomplish that goal. So you want to write your goals with the why power, so when the going gets rough, the why power can fuel your motivation again to get you started to get through those tough times. Tip number three, you want to track your goal. For me, tracking my progress toward the goal was a game changer. It motivated me, and it let me know if I was getting off track. It's the weekly or the daily or whatever type of monitoring and tracking process that you set up that feeds you. And the way I do it, most of my goals I would track weekly. Typically Sunday I would kind of review them. I would journal all my progress. And I will see if I, for example, with my journaling, I wanted to journal every day. So at the end of the week, I would see if I had 7 journal entries. And if I didn't, I would look at the days that I didn't make a journal entry and see what was going on. Sometimes it was emotions, sometimes it was just tired, sometimes I'll watch too much television. Whatever the case may be, that Sunday I get a chance to adjust and strike at it again. Last year, I was able, and this was the year during the coronavirus. A lot of my goals got off track because of many things I couldn't do. But those goals that I really had aligned with my core values, I found a way to adjust and still obtain them. I hit my financial goals. Even though I had a major back surgery, I still was able to get back into my physical goals because I recovered faster. Even in my marriage, my wife and I were able to have some breakthroughs in our marriage that we hadn't seen in a while. But because, again, the goal was so much in line with my core values that when the tough times came, and they came, trust me, we were able to make our way through them. So, monitoring every Sunday, I would sit back and see where I was with my goals. And it became exciting to me, actually, especially when I was on track. And last tip I have for you today is get someone to hold you accountable. Again, when you tell someone what your goals are, the chances of you getting your goals accomplished doubles, more than doubles. I know for me, my brother-in-law, he actually helps me a lot. We share with each other what our goals are. We even come up with ideas how we can track and monitor them. Now, I know last year was a rough year for both of us because of the coronavirus, but even then, one of my goals for the year was to begin to establish this video ministry. And here you are right now. And I owe a lot of that to my brother-in-law, Calvin. So thanks a lot, Calvin. Hey, I hope these videos have been a blessing to you. And if they have, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so when the next video comes out, you'll be able to get a notification for it. Now, until our next video, I hope you set goals that blow your socks off. But even more important, you become the person you desire to be. Be blessed.